Hi friends, Aitherea here, and as you can probably tell by my voice, I am a little bit unwell. I've had a sore throat for the past few days, but we're gonna try and power through it. So a lot of times when the patches come out, I will do like quality of life features that you overlooked, but this time I kind of want to just highlight some different things that have come out in 7.3 that you maybe didn't know came out like at all. Like you might not know that they exist, especially if you didn't read the patch notes, but even if you kind of skim them, you might not have noticed these things. So there's going to be some big things and some small. So we're kind of just going over highlights, and because I'm sick, I can't promise that this is going to be like the most high quality video ever, but we're gonna try, okay? So let's just get into it. So the first thing I want to mention is that a new seed for flower pots has been added. It is called the Champa seed, and this might not seem important to you, but it will right now. This is a flower crown that is made, crafted, I believe, out of the flowers that you get from the seeds. And now these are not dyeable. They just come in all different colors here, as you can see. But there is a flower crown on the Mog Station for a few dollars. So now we have a free flower crown in the game. So you don't have to pay on the Mog Station if you don't want to. Like I said, the downside of that is that it's not dyeable. And if you wanted to have all these colors, it's a lot of spaces it's going to take up in your glamour dresser. But it's also a different model from the flower crown. These flowers look a little bit more tropical to me. So I'm really, really excited about this. Moving on, new prizes are available for purchase using MGP. As you can see in this picture, it is some shirts. Now, when I first saw these, I wasn't interested at all because, as you guys probably know, I just don't like big stuff. I want it to be a hoe fit. However, there is a hoe fit version. There is a form fitting version. So there's actually 3 versions of all these tops. So there's the original version that's just kind of relaxed. There is the oversized version. And then like I showed before, there is a form-fitting version. So there's something here for everyone. These are pretty cool. And as you can see, they're also really cheap. They're only 5K MGP. So that's really great. Another thing I wanted to mention, along with those shirts in the gold saucer, there's actually a few shirts added as well to the independent merchants in the different big cities. They're basically the same kind of idea as what you were seeing in the gold saucer, except they're just a plain white t-shirt. So if you've always just wanted a plain white tee, you have that option now. Next up, new hairstyle options have been added for Viera and for Hrothgar. There's not much that needs to be said about this. Just go to the esthetician and see if there's anything that you like. Next, we have bangs will now be displayed when wearing headgear such as hoods. Unfortunately, it's not applicable to certain gear, so they're probably still working on rolling it out to every single hat or hood in the game, but overall a great change because we don't have to look bald anymore. They look so much nicer with the bangs. Next up is possibly one of the most important things they have ever added to this game. A large number of headgear items will now display when worn by Viera and Hrothgar. Since these races came out, they have not been able to wear a majority of the hats in the game. Face masks and circlets, sure, but actual hats, not really. Why is this important? Because I'll be your idol, keeping you in check, keeping you obsessed. Play me on repeat, could up she in your head. Anytime it hurts, play another verse. I can be your sanctuary. Anyways, there's actually a large number of hats. Some people were worried when they saw this because they were like, oh, they say a large number, but is it actually going to be a large number? It is going to be a large number. Okay, so we can wear so many hats now. It's not every single hat in the game. As you can see, this one doesn't work, but it is an impressive range of hats that we did not previously have access to. This one blows my mind. There's also the street hat. I just have to have you guys know this. Right there, super important. Sadly, this one doesn't work, but there's now a free-to-play beanie cap in the PvP stuff, so I don't know. Crazy amount of hats available. And then another thing to note with this update about the hats is that if you're playing a Viera and you go to the visor settings, you can choose if you want to show the ears or not. So if you think that a specific hat just isn't really looking right with the ears, then you don't have to have them show, which is really cool. Here's a quick one to pause the screen and glance at, but there's a bunch of emotes that can be used while sitting now. All right, next up, this one's a little bit crazy, but Phoenix Down is going to become a more useful item because you're going to be able to actually use it in certain duties. As you can see here, Instance Dungeons, Guild Loves, 4-player trials, Treasure Dungeons, Deep Dungeons, Field Operations, Variant Dungeons. You'll see some things are missing from here. Raids are missing from here. 8-man raids are not in here. Alliance raids are not in here. So it can't be used everywhere, but it will tell you any duties with restrictions. On Phoenix Downs, we'll display that information in the duty finder. So for example, you can't use Phoenix Down in the newest Alliance raid, Aitherea, and you can see right here, Phoenix Down, not allowed. So you'll be able to find that information on each different instance and duty. Other things to note about the Phoenix Down is that the cast time will be 8 seconds long. It will have a cooldown of 360 seconds, and it will share a cooldown with other medicine items, which will probably be things like ether and tinctures or gem droughts as they're called now. But I wouldn't worry about that too much because, like I already explained, it's not like you can use this in a savage dungeon. Well, savage raid, god damn it. It's not like you can use this in a savage raid anyway, so, you know, go ham with your Phoenix Down, save your duty, I guess. The next one is a really big deal. A progress bar can now be displayed under the nameplate of certain enemies. So this will mostly be displayed on bosses and powerful foes in instance content. So where this would be useful, things that come to mind for me are obviously the newest Alliance raid, Aitherea, but then they're showing Naimi and Elphic here, which I don't remember which Alliance raid they're part of, but it's one of the Endwalker ones. I mean, it'll be useful in general because you'll no longer have to be tabbed onto the boss to see the Castbar, which is huge for healers. When I first started playing, I remember like being like, how am I supposed to know what the boss is doing if I have to tab off to heal like the tank or somebody else? And that was what I always used Focus Target for, but this will be really great. Chaotic would have been a great place to have this, to be able to see what the ads on the platforms were doing and what the boss was doing, because you kind of struggled to watch both at the same time, at least I did. So overall, this is such a huge change that now that it's here, I'm kind of like, wait, why didn't we have this sooner? Next up are some changes to Occult Crescent. It seems like these are more meant to apply to Forked Tower, and basically they just fixed the problems that people were facing with Forked Tower, because you can enter with 24 people like into Occult Crescent and it'll set you up in a new instance, and then everybody has to have a cipher, and if you don't have one, you're not going to get in. All the things that people complain about, they pretty much fixed and changed. So if you want, you can look over this, but I'm going to keep going because I don't care about Forked Tower. Players can no longer join duties in progress if they have never cleared one or more of the duties that they've registered for. So basically, if you are a new player and you're doing a new duty, you're not going to ever be offered to go into an instance that's like halfway through. Like the people that are in that instance are maybe at like the second boss or something and they lost someone. So that's going to be really great for new players experiencing the story or just new fights. So I lied before when I called some other thing the most important update. Actually, this is the most important update, is that they added new glamour, really cool glamour that you can get for trophy crystals. And then this picture here is a series milestone reward, but there's more to be said about the trophy crystal stuff. So first of all, the Archfiend gear has been available since the last patch, but they also added the false monarchy stuff. So if you didn't happen to get that in the past, it's here now. And then they have added a bunch of new stuff. First of all, are you kidding me? These false nails are super cute. They've got like glitter on them. If I could show you, I would. I like literally, I'm trying to move my character around. Maybe the black ones would look, yeah. So there's a bunch of just really, really awesome glamour in here. You can look through this as you please, but just like before with the other tactical stuff that is still in here above it, there's like 2 versions of everything, so they dye slightly differently or look slightly different. So here's the jacket, and then here it is again. It's just like colored differently and it'll dye slightly differently, but really cool gear in here. Totally worth doing PvP for, even if you hate PvP. I hate PvP, get on that. And while I'm here, just while I'm here, all of the other tech gear we had lamented for a long time was only 1 dye channel, but do you see something? Do you see something? Oh my god, it's got 2 dye channels now. I'm so hyped about this. I'm just gonna pick random colors just to try it out. Are you kidding me? That looks fantastic. I'm so hyped. This is so exciting. I already have like a bunch of these, but they just got so much better. This is the best. Okay, a quick stop for more glamour, and you might be like, Aitherea, we get it, glamour, okay, it's great. You don't understand how important this glamour is. These 2 are from, they're crafted. You have to get the mats from the new treasure map dungeon. But let me just tell you, let me just show you something. These are the high heels that come with that dress. They're pumps. They're plain pumps. We do not have a plain pump in this game. There's like the maid outfit. It has a frickin' sock where his feet are, okay? It's got a sock. It's so stupid. The best pumps that we have in this game right now are the Frontier shoes until now. These are more pumpy pumps. And oh my god, they have 2 dye channels as well. Look at this. Look at this. Are you kidding me? These are incredible. These are going to be so useful. Some of you will understand right away what I'm getting at. Some of you, those who know. You know how useful these are going to be. So I had to tell you. I had to tell you about these shoes. It's this important. Okay, let's move on. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, a bunch of stuff is getting 2 dye channels, and I did bring up the tactical gear because it's one of the best ones. It looks like there's a bunch of old relic weapons and that kind of stuff in here, but also a bunch of the PvP stuff got added because all of this Republican stuff is PvP stuff. So like the caster set is really good. And then also there's like the late Allicant stuff, which is again more PvP stuff. Like we are just so winning with all of the dual dye channels, all the extra like second dye channels added on all this stuff. So just thank you. Next up, a button to filter your current class or job has been added next to the drop down filter of shop windows. It's going to be great because you're not going to have to dig through that to find your current job that you're on. It's just going to be right there for you. And this next one is really just a heads up for you guys. Crafted item level 740 equipment can now be exchanged for upgraded item level 750 equipment. This happens all the time with crafted gear. So if you still have your crafted gear, you can exchange it with an NPC and she'll give you like a certificate thing. And then you're also going to need some tombstones, and you'll exchange that for Immortal Rain. So as you can see here, it has to be the tombstones of heliometry. Exchange that for the Immortal Rain. She'll tell you how many you need. And then you can get the 750 version of the crafted gear. So that's a really good way to get your alt jobs, better gear if you need it, or even your main job if you're lazy and you still happen to have your crafted gear and you don't care about getting the tombstone gear, whatever. There you go. Okay, there are also a bunch of changes that have been made to Cosmic Exploration. I'm not going to go over them because, frankly, I don't care, because I'm not really a crafter and I haven't been doing this, but I've heard that it's going to get a little bit easier to do some of the different missions in there and stuff. As you can see, I think the most important ones are just these at the top. There's going to be a summoning bell. You're going to be able to go straight there from the Aetheryte and Bestways Burrow, and then you can also use a mount, although you can't fly. So that's all good stuff to know. If you are enjoying Cosmic Exploration, then I would say come to the patch notes and see what has been changed and added, but we're just going to keep going here. Okay, if you weren't listening up till now, open your ears, okay? Dig out your earwax. This is really important. I'm going to get you a free $10 item. So, because everybody complained, myself included, you're welcome, about the character models after the graphics update. They've been implementing feedback basically every single patch, apparently. I really kind of haven't noticed it, but they've been doing it. So they've also been giving us free Fantasias, and there will be another free Fantasia available, but you have to claim it before 7.4. Where is this Fantasia? Let me tell you. Oh my god, it's so dark in the game. Holy crap, I need to fix my NVIDIA filters, I can't see shit. Anyways, it is in Apkalu Falls. This is in Gridania. Just teleport to the Lancers Guild, run on over, and then you talk to the Wandering Moogle. See, he's got a quest here. It is so ridiculously easy. You just click, and oh my god, free Fantasia. You've got a Fantasia now. You're welcome. This next update is going to be really exciting for some people, but its chat bubbles have now been implemented into the game. These are not on by default, so you will need to turn them on, and the way to do that is very, very simple. You just have to go to your chat log settings, and then it'll say chat bubble settings, and you have to click here, enable chat bubbles, because if this is not on, then it will not be on. You can go ahead and change settings for these if you like. You can turn certain ones off if you want, and you'll notice that all of them have a little bit of a different appearance. You can change the color palette, so there's a bunch of stuff that you can do here. You can change the display count for, I'm assuming, might be the character display, like how many characters are in each message. But yeah, it has rows, chat bubbles, all this stuff is now available. So enjoy your chat bubbles. Okay, this next one my friend was really excited about. Display range for players and monsters has been increased in the following areas. It applies to cities, fields, housing areas with the firmament, the Manderville Gold Saucer, cosmic exploration areas, occult crescent, and instanced events, and certain areas are not affected. It says that this is for Windows only, apparently, and you can adjust this in the other settings menu in the system configuration menu. It will say display limits, character and object quantity, character display range, and open windows. That is where you will find it. So I personally tried doing this. I was going to show you an example, but it literally didn't look any different to me. But I guess for my friend, he was like super wowed by it, so maybe you guys will be too. Okay, so next they have added a bunch of stuff to Gpose. Mainly they've added this chromatic aberration stuff. They've added sliders for filters. They have added a portrait mode as well as a way to like turn the portrait. It's a lot, but it's pretty cool. This chromatic aberration is a fun new thing. I'm kind of surprised they didn't put that in as like a filter, but if you want to, you can put on a filter, and then the cool thing is that you can mess with the intensity, which I think is so nice. Now we can do a portrait preview, and then, oh, I see portrait mode. How do I get out of that though? Oh, okay, I just pressed escape. That kind of scared me. But yeah, that's mostly what they've added to Gpose, along with like some stickers. So very, very cool. Okay, and last but not least, the final thing I want to bring up is a glamours button has been added to the window displayed when examining player equipment. This is very exciting. So you find someone with a really cool glam. This girl over here is looking fire, and you examine them, and now you're like, oh my gosh, do you want to wait for their glam thing to switch? It still does. However, there's a button down here which just switches the window and shows you only their glams, so you can very quickly and easily go over everything and see exactly what they're wearing. By the way, Ultranova, you look great. I love your glam. You look really cool. You look beautiful. You look awesome. Super cool. I can't wait until I'm playing a female character again so I can use this, but I really like what this person did with the shorts, because the shorts originally have this kind of like jogger kind of thing coming off of the bottom of it, where it's like fabric, but I like that it looks like it's part of the legs almost. That's very clever, very cute. So yeah, amazing, incredible. And that's pretty much the last of it. I mean, there's a few other things, but nothing that I think is too important that I must shout to the heavens. So if you found this video helpful, please consider leaving a sacrifice to Lord Algorithm in the form of a like, comment, share, or subscribe. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to my channel members for supporting me. Bye!